So in this section, we're going to be talking about handling conditions. How do we handle conditions in Python? So let's step into the IDE. So assuming we have a value, say a, lowercase a equals to, let's say 300. And then we want to check, let's say we have another value called b, which is equal to, let's say 44. And what we could do is that I already have the syntax suggested for me by the IDE. So what we could do is basically, for example, check if a is greater than b. So we could say a is greater than b, else we could say b is greater than a. So I'm going to take this else condition out. So this if can work independently of the else. So if we say, for example, if a is greater than b, print a is greater than b. So let's see what happens. You see? So let me clear this console here so that we get a clean slate. So when we execute this, you see a is greater than b. So, and it's true that a is greater than b. So we could also chain another if statement down here and say, in this case, we could say if b is less than a. You see? And we could have like multiple if statement. So they could all stand together. For example, if a is greater than b, print a is greater than b. If b is less than a, then b is less than a. So if a equals to b, then a is equal to b. If a not equal to b, so you could test this condition independently like this. So let's see, for example, a is greater than b got printed, b is less than a, b is not equal, a is not equal to b. So you see, this one's succeeded, but we had about 1, 2, 3, 4 conditions, but not all of them got succeeded, evaluated. So some were not evaluated because the conditions were not met. So one of the things you could also do is, instead of having like a single if statement, you could also have an else, like the one we had last time. So you have like, if a is not greater than b, of course a is greater than b. Let's say the value of a becomes 30. We know that this condition, the first one, is not going to succeed because a is not greater than b. So it's going to print b is greater than a, which is going to be true. In this case, the second condition will be evaluated because the if expression here will evaluate to false. So basically, it's this block that is being evaluated. So it will check if a is actually greater than b, and then it's going to return false. Yes, that means this block will be ignored, and then it's going to evaluate the else side of it. So look at it. So you see, b is greater than a. So this is how you could use if as single units, or you could combine if with else, as you've seen here. So another scenario could be when you want to use, like, when you have multiple conditions of if, but you want to chain them together. So let's kind of comment this one out. And then let's look at this, an example where, let's say, for example, we have this box equals to rice beans. So in this one, you see the conditions we're using whether a is greater than b. But in this case, we are saying box equals to rice beans. And we are saying if rice in box, give me the box. So let me correct this typo here. So if rice in box, give me the box. Guess what we are doing? At the end of the if statement, after we do this column, in Python, this is not allowed. So we need to indent this code. You see, we can't write it like this. You see, look at the error it gives. It said expected indented block. So all the statement under if has to be, so you have to, for example, press a tab. So all the statement have to be under this if statement. So if you have multiple statement here, they will all be under. You see, for example, I need food. So you have to make sure that it's been indented with the same space. What happens is that immediately you put this column and press an enter, in most IDEs, it would position itself properly where you should start typing your statement. So this is how you can chain an if with an elif. So the else if is actually in Python written as elif, so elif. So now this one also allows a condition, just like the if. The else does not have a condition after it. So it will try to evaluate if rice in box. So it will say, give me the box, I need food. Then else if money in box, it will say, keep the money, I need food. You see? So keep the money, it doesn't want the money. Then else, get away. So if this, so let's see what happens now. So you see, give me the box, I need food. You see, so these two statements got evaluated because this is what got succeeded. So this is this run returned true. There was actually rice in the box. So let's try to change this rice to something else. Let's say, for example, there was now money here. Money in this statement. So there was money and there was no rice. So what exactly do you think will happen? So let's see. So you see here we saw keep the money, I need food, because now we had money in the box. So the second statement here got evaluated because there was now money in the box. So this statement got evaluated as opposed to the other time where we had rice. So when we don't have both money and rice, let's see. So now we just have a single statement with beans. So let's evaluate it now and see. You see, getaway got printed. So this is how you manage conditions in Python. So in the next section, we're going to be talking about the for loop.